Seeing as I have a quota to fill, I decided to go and search for a game to review and came across the Itchy and Scratchy game for the Sega Genesis. And I knew immediately that this game was going to be bad before I even started up my emulator. How did I know, you may ask? Because Acclaim had something to do with it getting published. And can anyone think of even one game that Acclaim developed or published that actually turned out halfway decent?
Outstanding.
Alright, fine, I stand corrected. So what really makes this game so bad? Well, where should I begin? For one thing, the concept of the game is pretty stupid. For those of you not knowing what I'm talking about, let me put it in perspective. Itchy and Scratchy is actually a cartoon series in the Simpsons universe, which are watched by Bart and Lisa for about 30 seconds every time the show makes an appearance, which isn't very often to begin with. So, apparently, Bits Corporation figured that instead of making a game based off of a popular cartoon series, they should make a game based off of a not-so-popular cartoon series within a cartoon series. Well, if that doesn't sound like epic and win right there, I don't know what does. While we're at it, let's also make games based off of Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy, Terrence and Phillip, and the Frat Aliens. Now before we get to the actual game, we should probably stop at the options section of the game to adjust the controls, unless you'd rather play the game with the A button being used to jump. This is the one thing I actually like about this game, because you can actually adjust the controls in this game to make them more natural to how you personally play. Unfortunately, the controls in this game still suck. They just found a way to make it not as sucky as it could have been. After you begin the game, you'll quickly notice that it uses some pretty lousy graphics. I mean, just look at it! It's like they didn't even try! Even if they were aiming for a more cartoonish feel for the game's graphics, they failed miserably. And there are times when the graphics are so bad that you can't tell the difference between the background and the foreground. So you'll find yourself trying to jump on what you think are platforms, but end up realizing that's just part of the background. That or you're facing through the platforms, which I wouldn't be surprised if that were the case in this glitch fest of a game. Now, you're probably wondering what the story is. After all, video games tend to have stories, regardless of how moronic they can get at times. Well, guess what? There is no story in this game. I'm being dead serious. The only thing you're given as to a story in this game is they fight, they fight, they fight and fight and fight, 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 the Itchy and Scratchy game. That's not a story. That's an introduction. You know what you have to do in this game? Kill Scratchy. That's it. You'd think with such a compelling objective as that, you'd at least be given a reason to kill him. But Bits decided to be as lazy as they could possibly get and just throw you into the game without reason. And to just go about killing someone for no reason seems pretty harsh if you ask me. All I'm saying is that if our main objective is to kill someone, at least give us a reason to do it. You know what? I'm sorry, but I can't just go about killing someone for no reason. Therefore, I've made a story for this game. Now please enjoy as I take you into the first installment of Total Ass Theater. Not to be confused with Half-Ass Theater, which is actually good.
We have reached troubling times. Please send in Itchy.
Did you call me, Godrat?
Yes, I have a mission for you. It would seem that our partner, Scratchy, has learned the truth about our soylent catnip. If he delivers this information to the press, it would mean the end of us. Hurry, my son, and kill him immediately.
For the last time, I'm not your son. I'm your granddaughter, you fat bastard. All hail the Overlord!
All hail the Overlord!
All hail the Overlord! There! That's all I'm asking. Just a little story to give me a reason to go about killing Scratchy, followed by complete submission of everyone on Earth to my power and awesomeness. That isn't too much to ask, is it? This game is filled with glitches, and they are most noticeable when you finish a level and go on to the next one. Now, I'm not sure if it's my emulator or if it's the game, but I can tell you that this happens almost every single time you start a new level. Say whatever you want about this game. This is just bad programming at its finest. As for the fighting engine in this game, it's broken. Your main weapon in this game is a wooden mallet, and you can use it to attack Scratchy or one of his killer dolls, which are apparently made by the hands of Jesus in heaven. The problem with this weapon is that you have to be a fixed distance from the enemy. If the enemy is too close or too far, he'll be in a blind spot and your attacks will miss, leaving an opening for your enemy to attack. Come on! Get the fucking toy, you blind mouse! For crying out loud, they're toys! Can't you just remove the fucking batteries? Of course, you can also get other weapons in the game by finding these boxes scattered throughout the levels, which really becomes helpful when Scratchy decides to do nothing else besides attack you from a distance with his own weapons, which he tends to do quite often in the later levels. And he'll also be using tactics such as the infamous run onto the screen quickly and attack before you have a chance of reacting to it. Holy honey-encrusted and nougat-filled Moses, this is cheap! Speaking of the fighting engine and being cheap, do you know that you can't even jump and attack at the same time in this game? Now I can actually understand not being able to use the mallet while jumping in midair, but when I got something that I can throw, you'd think that I could jump and attack at the same time. But no! This game doesn't let me! That's bullshit! Once you defeat Scratchy in the platforming sections, he'll come back as a boss to fight you. When this happens, you'll no longer be relying on your mallet to attack him. Instead, you'll be using projectiles that you can get from defeating the Scratchy toys. Once you get enough projectiles, just time your throwings and you should be able to defeat Scratchy without too much trouble. At least for half of the levels. The other half, however, are what I like to refer to as bullshit tedious. Especially the boss fight in the third level. Why is this boss fight so bad, you might ask? Well, for starters, you'll have to stand on this fish that just starts floating out of the water for no reason. Yeah, flying fish joke, ha ha ha. Anyway, this fish will be constantly going up and down, back and forth into the water. And you'll be going along for the ride. And when he goes up, pound! And this will happen every 5 pound seconds. And you'll hate every pound second of it, because you'll be sent to Davy Pound's locker. I miss urinating tree. And if you want to see some bullshit in this boss fight, then check this out. I fell through the fucking boat! Why is it that I can't stand on the boat but Scratchy can? This is total bullshit! Oh, and just listen to this superb music and sound. Ear-rapingly great music and sound for 7 levels. Isn't that fun? Speaking of the 7th level, your last boss fight takes place in what looks like an Acme warehouse. It has all the Acme telltale signs, pits of acid that you can fall into, rusted gears, weapons you can pick up anywhere. Definitely Acme. Once you beat Scratchy in this level... What the hell? I beat the game? That's all I get for an ending? That doesn't even count as an ending! The last boss fight wasn't so remarkably different that you'd think that it's the last level. You figure that I at least get an ending message like, congratulations on spending your money on our piece of shit game. You made us slightly richer because of it. Now go fuck yourself with a broom handle and die. But no! The credits just come right out of nowhere like a kick to the balls when the power goes out. Hell, I would have even preferred this over the ending that was given to me in this game. It's like the developers didn't even bother finishing the game, which I wouldn't be surprised if that's the truth. This whole game feels completely unfinished. For that, all I have to say is fuck you, Bits Corporation. Because you made one of the worst abominations of gaming that I've ever played in my life. And I tell what you fans that I have to stay away from the other games you produced, but I don't know what other games you developed because I can't find any information on you. And try looking up their information on Wikipedia. It is not there. Really, it isn't. So let's just hope that this is the only game you've ever made to date. Let's also hope that it's the last. And if I find any more, then you can count that I'm coming after you guys. Well, that's all I have to say. Good fucking night.